So here we are. We're back.
We are back.
We're always here, really. We never go anywhere. We're back on this little show, on this channel, the Mind Flush sessions. Thank you for watching, everybody. And then again, I'm here just to talk about stuff, the stuff that we deal with, and constantly dealing with stuff. It never ends, unfortunately. And just today, we're going to talk about different tools that we could use to just maybe start the day off on the right foot.
Things to pay attention to.
On the right side of the bed. I looked it up too. I was like, where does that meaning come from? Getting up on the wrong side of the bed. Well, back in the old days, ancient times, they would say, well, if you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, there's spirits on different sides. You wake up to bad spirits, you have a bad day. It's like, okay, well,
is that really it?
I don't know, but I think the real one is the spirits in our head.
Well, I didn't realize that's where that derived from. That's the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah, the wrong side of the bed. That's where it came from, way back. Evil spirits lay on certain sides of the bed.
Funny how that sticks around for so long.
Yeah, it's like like sneezing. God bless you. Like, I'm not really a priest.
Yeah,
I'm not a saint. I can't, Gesundheit, I'll say, but that's also from spirits. They thought you were possessed by spirits.
Well, if you sneeze, your heart stops, and they think they would give a chance for the devil to come inside you. So you had to say God bless you to make sure the devil...
But we're all still saying it. We know isn't that
bless
funny?
You. It's the polite thing to do.
Is that funny?
That's weird.
We're not really thought about it we're not like sages, and we're not like gurus, or we're not spiritualists to heal people with, whatever. But we're saying God bless you. Yeah. It's very interesting. It's just a good way to think about that, because it's a good example of the habits we actually just do without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
And that's why the Mind Flush sessions, to me, is so important, because we need to constantly clean out those things, or be aware of them at the very least. Be aware.
What's interesting is I had this thought the other day. I was reading some about habits and the idea of habits. And habits are more important than we realize, not just for everyday life, but the idea that what becomes a habit in our life as we grow older, and this is why, young people and old people always, clash.
Right.
And it's because once we develop habits, if we don't pay attention to them, eventually with enough time, habits become traditions. And once it's labeled as a tradition to us, we have to respect it. We automatically put it on a pedestal as it's what's right and what matters to us. So if someone does something differently, all of a sudden it's, we feel negatively towards them. But in reality, this is not a tradition. This is just a habit that we never broke.
Somebody just kept doing it, perpetuated it.
And it's interesting to think about, and that's why, the idea of like daily tools and daily things of what you choose to do with your time and how you get out of situations, that's going to literally define your traditions, if you will.
Yeah. I think I would say I've always been, and I'm not saying anti-traditionalist, but I didn't like to follow just because everybody else was doing it. I always like to research it and know why things were happening. We talked about that on the holiday session about Christmas and all that. Why people, it's the same kind of thing. Zig Ziglar had a great story about this years ago. He talked about it in one of his talks. And he said, I was at dinner once, and I was watching them make dinner. They had the ham, and she goes, and her aunt goes, we got to cut the ends off the ham. And he's like, really? Yep, you got to cut the ends off the ham. Okay. And he's like, he was curious, why did you cut the ends off the ham? Let's ask Grandma, or her mother,
Yeah.
He goes, well, Grandma always cut the ends off the ham, so you got to cut the ends off the ham. That's what you do before you cook. You cut the ends off the ham. And that's what we've been doing for the last, 30 years. But let's ask Grandma. She was still alive.
Yeah.
I said, Grandma, why you cut the ends off the ham? She goes, well, back in those days, the ovens were very small, so we cut the ends off the ham.
Isn't that incredible?
So,
isn't that incredible?
The story is that they did it for 30 years thinking that was the only thing. They didn't know why it was being done. Actually, there's a reason for it, but they did it because, now the ovens are huge, and they still cut the ends off the ham, not knowing it, just by following suit.
And that's so true, though. Like those tiny little things that we habitually do every day, if we don't stay aware, if we don't keep our minds empty to be aware of what's going on, they will become tradition and define our life, and we will end up maybe blocking off the ability to connect with someone else because of it.
Yeah, that's true. That could be. It's just so subtle too. It's just subtle, and it's not a bad thing. Like the ham thing is not a bad thing, but if you do negative things, that becomes a bad. Maybe say, what, switch it, make it a positive thing. Do a positive habit. Make a positive habit. Can't go wrong with that.
Well, like working out every day, or finding something healthy, something positive, like using these tools every day.
Using tools every day, every single day, man. That's what it is. Getting up really does set the pace. We've all had those days. You get up and you just feel like, oh man, You're thinking already. You're thinking. The brain's thinking. It's all the synthetic mind is thinking. Oh, I got this. I didn't do this. I don't want to talk to this. I forget to do that. Yeah, you wake up already in an anxious state, and I think that's the state of mind a lot of people are in. Like we talked about earlier off camera, we said, it's 2020. There's pressure on you to, well, what are you gonna do in 2020? What are your goals? What's your New Year's resolution? Yeah, what are you to be better? It's like, no, you don't have to. I mean, being better is fine. But growth is fine, but just be a more solid person. You don't have to put that extra pressure on you and put it all in a big pile, and then you start off being stressed. So starting your day with a clean mind is so important. It's so important.
It's so difficult though. Like just the other day, I woke up anxious with intense anxiety.
Wow.
And that set the pace for me.
Mm-hmm.
And even, and I tried my normal stuff that I would normally do, and it wasn't working. I found myself having trouble getting down from that anxiety. And as the day went on, I started here, and it just kept building.
Right.
And so I remember thinking to myself about these mind flesh sessions, like, try some tools, but what happens when I'm already there, when I wake up and I'm already there?
Right. That's a tough one. That is, I think you have to do something physical. I think, like we talked about, sometimes to break you out of the mindset. Tony Robbins had a great thing. He says, motion affects emotion.
I love that.
Okay, so we're active people. So it's like, like you have a good ritual. You can talk about it. You're in the mood. Just go outside and walk. Just get your body moving. Get yourself out of that state. If this. Get some sunlight. If it's raining, get some rain in your face.
Yeah.
Get some fresh air. It's really moving the body. I have things that I do in the morning. We'll talk about those. It's like just a physical thing. A cold shower.
Moving it into something that's out of your control.
Right.
For me, it's been like walking outside. Like I'm walking and moving my body. One, it keeps my mind from spiraling. That's the most important. It's subtle release of endorphins. It's keeping me active, keeping me aware, looking down on my own 2 feet, move. It keeps me focused on the things so I can't go lose my mind, into that anxiety. But also, I'm out around things I don't control. Yeah. Every time I feel like I'm falling apart, look at that tree's growing. Yeah. That's true life, right?
Right.
There's very minimal synthetic life outside.
Yes. Yeah. You want to look at the miracles, but also the first thing everybody could do that we have immediately. We talked about this, a while back, is your breath, and go and really pay attention. Go, okay, am I breathing? I am breathing.
Yeah.
How am I breathing? I just got up out of bed. I wasn't even thinking about breathing all night.
Yeah.
But I was still breathing. So it go, wow. So there's something going on beyond my mind control that is actually keeping me alive. So that is what you have to honor and go, okay, I'm breathing. The miracles are happening. What I have to deal with are things I deal with, but not that extreme. They're not going to change the rotation of the earth. They're not going to change the sun. They're not going to change the air. I'm still breathing. My body's still pumping. Everything else is doable. It's not. It's within grasp. It's within your grasp, right? Because everything that's enormous and amazing is out of our control. The amazing true life is out of control, and we don't have to control it. Thank God. Like we talk about, oh my God, if I had to pay attention to breathing, I wouldn't be alive. I wouldn't be thinking about it. Yeah. You suffocate. You wouldn't think about breathing.
Or you just get nothing done and breathe.
Right. Breathe in, out, in, out. Yeah. So we don't have to do that. So go, okay, let's get started. Let's say, my breathing is here. Let me concentrate on the breathing. Just pay attention to the breath going in. Don't try to breathe. Just let it go. It's like, oh my God, there's something happening out of my control, really an outside force of the universe that's running everything is also running me. So start there. That'll get you calmed down. Breathing is good in general. Breathing. Yeah. In through the nose, out of your nose. That's the way to breathe. If your nose is clogged, then you can use your mouth, but out of the mouth is more of a anxious type breathing. It's more of a panicky type breathing. When you're panicking, you breathe through your mouth. So in through your nose, out of your nose. And then look at yourself for a second. Say, okay, I'm here. I could feel everything. I have my senses are here. Everything's working. I'm here. So you're really in good shape to start. Everything else now becomes like this thing over here. It's a different, like cubby hole. You have it over here. It's like, okay, so immediately go, okay, my true life is in great shape. True life. meaning everything that's not created by us, right? Everything that's here from the outside universe has created us. So true life is perfect. I'm here, I'm breathing, right? Synthetic life, there's always something to fix. There's always something to do. So it's nothing new. It can get more extreme at certain times, but start at least with the foundation of true life, of your breath and your body and your soul is here. Your loving soul never changes. You realize that. You know, if people, like I tell my son, oh, Dad, I want to do this. Are you going to love me? I said, son, I love you no matter what you do or don't do. You're the being. It's the real.
Yeah.
Everything else, sports, art, music, magic, whatever, building, that's all fine and dandy, but it's still, when you come here, nothing ever changes. When you sleep, are you less of a person?
Yeah.
You're not. Yeah. You're the same being, but you're sleeping, and you're doing nothing when you're sleeping, hopefully. Maybe dreaming a little bit.
Yeah.
But physically, are you really not doing it? And you know what's great? We're all doing that. We're all sleeping. We have to sleep.
Yeah.
So we all get into the state of this subconscious thought and mind just going to bed and going, that's why we love to sleep, because we go, oh man, this is going to get me away for a little bit. But when we get up, we're fine. Now the brain kicks in and all that bull crap starts happening again. All the baloney starts building up and sticking to your mind. So just start with that. And you get up, say, okay. And I think acknowledging it, like you acknowledging what you're feeling. Okay, I feel anxious. I get it. That's the synthetic mind. So that's over here. But let me check everything first. Planets are there, stars, suns there, oxygen check. Breathing. So the miracles are still really working. Everything else is so secondary to that. It's not discounting anything, but it's saying it's not the ultimate beginning or end of anything.
Don't let it overtake you.
Yeah, it's not the ultimate end of anything. It's all synthetically created. That's going to come and go. This is always here, no matter what. So let me see, is that there? Yes, I'm here. I'm solid. Start from that point, and then again, do your rituals. The morning walk is awesome. Get up, get out of the house, cold, hot, whatever, fresh air, cold air.
I love it. I love the heat. I do not like the cold, but in the mornings, I like it to be crisp.
Yeah, wakes you right up.
Okay, because I've realized the more stimulation of the physical body, the less your mind has room to spiral out of control.
Yeah.
It has to empty itself.
Well, the physicality does affect it. If you think about a person, like I'm going to get in the position now of someone that's depressed. Okay, I'm here.
Yeah, this slouched over.
Shallow breath. And the body feels like, oh my God. As you feel it, you already feel like, oh man, I want to go to sleep. I don't want to do anything. But if you just simply change the body, change the breathing, look up. I did this with my son one time. I said, look up in the sky, smile. Look up in the sky, smile, smile. Try to be sad now. Try to be sad. You can't. He starts laughing. Stop, Dad, stop. Because the physicality of the body is being affected. It's affecting the emotions. So emotion creates and controls the emotion. So get your body out of that state immediately.
Well, it's great because like when the brain does feel something, when you do feel something, the body responds physically, correct? Yeah. So like if you just like you're saying, you put your body in a position that would be a result of happiness, whether you're sad or not, you're basically turning the cycle and saying, hey, brain, be happy instead.
Right.
And you basically trick yourself into being more positive. And then once you're in that state, it's much easier to clear your mind and look at the real things and take care of things.
Yeah.
Once again, being in joy is the ultimate tool of getting anything done.
Definitely, because you want to be at the highest potential you could be, and that's being in joyful state.
Yeah.
But it's not really a trick because it's really happening. If a trick is like magic, a sleight of hand, and it's behind the hand. No, your body is really reacting to the physicality of what you're doing. That's why when you're running in endorphins and physical stuff, it gets you pumped, and it's like that's really happening. It's not.
Yeah.
It's physical. There's a chemical reaction in your body really happening.
Absolutely.
So it's not like you're really fooling yourself, but you're getting yourself to that point. So you could say you're inducing it by the motion create. So think about that. Create motion. That's why when Tony Robbins I created years ago when I went to his fire walk, and he had a thing called a power move. So I created one, and I would do it before my lifts back in the day.
What's a power move?
It's just something to get you to a high peak of energy, or you can use it for whatever else you want. Okay. But I used to get ready for my lifts, and I would do this. I would get ready, I'd roll my knees up, and I would be powerlifting, and I'd be like, when I get like so fast, I stand up, and I'd be like, ugh. Then I can do my lift. I'm like, whoa. so I started doing that before my shows back in the day, performing all the time. But now I don't do that because I think I don't need that much energy. I'd rather have it more of a cleansing energy. So now I do more of a breathing, and I just come and I sense my fingers, and I sense the sensations of my entire body, and I do that. I do a little more inward energy building instead of outwardly. But
which is still considered a power move.
It is. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a crazy move. Or it could be music, right?
So a power move is anything that basically puts you in a place to get you to where you need to be to perform, to act, to do whatever it is, whatever task you have.
To change your state. So you're in a crappy state, do something.
Makes you powerful.
Yep. So there's a power move. You could do music, a certain song.
Yeah.
Like I used to before, when we train, sometimes you have certain songs, Rocky song, cheesy as it is, you listen to Rocky, listen to this, listen to, your best group, kicking butt, bang, 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 get your body going. It's not the answer to like completely change your life, but it's going to get you on the right path.
Yeah.
This is not going to be like, oh, you do this and now your life is fine. No, but it's okay. Use these little tools, the little speed bumps to kick you back into the road and get you back on track. Because now if you start doing something in this mood, as opposed to this mood, what's going to be better?
Well, it's a chain reaction.
Yeah, chain reaction.
Good things lead to good things lead to good things.
Yeah. Like we talk about after our sessions, we feel good because we're talking, we're expressing, we're moving, our bodies are going, and anybody can do it. You don't have to be like an athlete. It's anything that changes your state.
Well, it's great because it's not the solution to all your problems. It's not the solution to any of that stuff.
No.
All it is literally saying, hey, if there is a solution, and there's always a solution, there's always something you can do, you're only going to see it if you get yourself to that place.
Yes.
And it's clear as day once you get there.
It is.
So if something's like, if you need looking and it's unclear to you, stop, look at yourself, look within and think about what state am I in?
Yes.
Am I in a state to see what I need to see? Because it should be easy to see. And then you'll realize, all right, use one of the tools. Listen, watch Mind Flush session, see what I need to do. Right. One of these things, and like it's amazing. Just puff your chest out, boom. Look up and smile, boom. Go for a walk.
If you stand up and do that, stand up, arms back, chest out, stand like you're confident. And I do that when I train people to get on stage for stage fright. Stage fright is basically these guys like, oh man, I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. Immediately, we're going to just change your physicality, your posture, the way you stand, the way you feel your feet on the ground, the way you breathe. Now go out there. Yeah. Holy cow, look at the difference, right?
There's a presence now.
Now you just feel good. Doesn't matter why. You're just feeling good. And before you're like, oh, shit, okay, look at me at the curtain. Oh, my God, there's people out there. You're down. No. Come out like this. So it works for whatever you want to do. But if you're waking up on the wrong side of the bed and you're starting the day off like that, just get up, stand up, boom, do jumping jacks, do push-ups, do something, find something that works for you.
Yeah.
That it could be anything. Music, I do something here. I draw this little heart on my hand. Not every single day, but certain days when I know I need to focus more on just being loving awareness and loving people and loving everybody around me. Because sometimes you get regretful, resentful, like, oh man, blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing this because of him, or he's better than me. We're comparing each other. It's like, but there's no reason for that whatsoever. Just if you could love people around you, because they're not really affecting you, it's just what you're thinking about them.
Yeah.
Why not think of good things about them and let them affect you? So I do this every day. And I remember you said, well, is that going to be a tattoo? And you know what? I thought about making a tattoo. It's just a little heart.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy, a little heart. But when I'm actually doing it every day, or whenever I do it, I'm taking the time to pay attention why I'm doing it. And I'm filling in the red heart with the black outline. I put even little veins that go from to signify that it's coming from my inside to there. It's got to come from here out. So I do that as my little morning ritual, and I'm gonna love everybody today, man. And it's so much nicer to feel that way. Put you in that state of mind. So that works, but I do it every day. Sometimes I use music. Sometimes I use the physicality. I do a couple other things that I do before my yoga. Sometimes I do my yoga. Like I did yoga for the first time in quite a while because my hip was bad, not feeling well. And I said, I'm just going to do it. And it anchored me. But whatever it takes, the point is, find what works. The books or the music. So the walking is awesome. The power move, create a power move to get you out of the state.
I like the power move.
Physicality, everybody could do that.
Yeah.
We all know, like you look at a depressed person, you could name shallow breath, head down, shoulders slouched, bending down over, walking slow, talking low. So do everything else, just the opposite.
Yeah, contrary action.
Contrary action.
Yeah.
And your body's going to go, what? And it's fun. Like I said, do it to a kid. Have a kid do the exercise, and you'll see it. They don't even know why they're doing it. But when I did it to my son, I'm like, oh, man, I don't know if this is going to work. You know, I haven't done it. I haven't tried it with him before. But he was not in a good mood. I said, please, just try this, try it. No, Dad, it makes no sense. I know it doesn't make any sense. Just try it. Head up. Smile. No, you got to smile. Smile, breathe, chest out. And he starts laughing. I'm like, bang.
Inevitable.
Unbelievable. So that's amazing. Really good. So I think the physicality, especially for people that are physical already, like we are, we work out. But even anybody, it doesn't matter. It just, physicality. And stay and be moving and active and breathing and listen to good things and look at good things. Look at a nice photo like this. Go online, and I go onto the live space station. We talked about that.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
That's
and seeing the Earth rotating and, you know. And you know what I'm doing now, actually, because of the physicality? I realize, like, I'm not watching my stuff down here anymore. I'm bringing it up here for that reason.
Keeps you in that state.
Yeah, for that reason. I'm like, I want to admire it here. As opposed to here, I could get kind of like dreamy. Like, no, I'm going to watch it here. So that's the key, you know.
Yeah, the posture can actually change
posture. Oh, the posture. Yeah, I mean, that's really kind of the challenges now with social media, because
we're designed to do this.
That's
looking
the problem.
At my phone.
That's
looking at my phone.
What posture is that? That's a posture we just talked about of that depressive mode.
Yeah.
So bring it up. Yeah, you bring it up. Do it here. It's like looking at a billboard. It's like when you go to Vegas. I remember going to Vegas years ago, and I lived there. I'd walk down the strip and I look at the billboard. It's like, wow, you know. All these artists and these, you know, all these amazing people performing on the lights, and so you're like, wow, but you realize, wow, I've been looking up for an hour. I'm like, wow, you know, and I've been walking. So, and the lights and the brightness, I love light too.
Yeah,
I love light. So, you know, bright room, create a nice space for yourself. You know, boom, and maybe have a nice quote on the mirror that tells you. There's so many things you could use. You know, we'll be sharing some of those ideas of quotes and meditative quotes, and coming up. But those are good too. Again, just find something. There's so many things available to you. Like, I'll do the physicality, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do the yoga. Whatever works for you, start the day off with that. People say, well, I don't have time.
Make it accessible too. It has to be accessible. Yes. Like, it can't involve everything else, because this anxiety hits wherever you are. Like, you can be anywhere. You have to be able to do something. Like, what if you're on an airplane, right? Middle seat on an airplane, and anxiety hits.
Yes.
You know, what do you do in that situation? Which tool is in your arsenal? And that's the thing. It's about finding, like, I see this, I'm learning, especially for personally, is, maybe walking isn't going to work every day.
Right.
Maybe I need to do something else on certain days, depending on the type of anxiety, the type of stress, the type of sadness, whatever it is. It requires different actions, but whatever tools I put together, or anybody puts together, it has to be something that you can do with your body. That doesn't require another tool or anything like that. Maybe a pen and a notebook, maybe you want to write, but it's accessible in the sense, like, you're not, if going to the gym is your thing, that you need to find a new thing.
Right.
Because
you can't
always be in the gym.
Right. That's a good point.
And because, as a young teenager, when I was a young teenager growing up, the gym became that place where I got all the aggression, all that testosterone, all that stuff, and eventually I had to become an adult. Like, hey, I can't just be at the gym all the time. I need to handle my emotions.
Right.
And then and it's funny. Like, it's funny to joke around about it because everyone does it.
Yeah.
But it's a huge step, because realizing that these tools have to come from within, have to come from something that you can recognize anywhere. That's why the moon. That's why the sun. That's why nature and the true life aspects are so great, because wherever you are.
Yes, your breath is always there.
Breath is always there. Even eternal true life, like. All that stuff is always there.
Always there.
So the tools have to incorporate a true life aspect.
It does. And it's a very good point, Hug, because you don't want to also become a slave to them. Like, for a while, because of my hip, some of the postures in yoga I couldn't do. And I felt, oh my God, I felt like, oh my God, I'm not doing it. I felt, and I said, I can't feel bad about it. But I was becoming a slave to that, because I was doing it for 2 years straight, every night.
It's like what was keeping you healthy is now you don't feel good enough for it.
Right.
You're not doing it.
So that's not good. So you can never be a slave to any of these things.
Yeah.
So then I just switched it and go, okay, I'm going to use now Ram Dass's loving awareness meditation, that I could sit and listen, and guided meditation, and use that, and use another breathing exercise from the same yoga people. So I was able to work around it and feel like, oh, okay, I'm fine. Because really, it doesn't matter what you do. It's who you are here. These are little things kind of open the door and go, okay, go ahead.
And that's all they are.
Yeah, just open the door.
You can't put them on that pedestal and become the same because
just open the door. Go.
You just need that much, and then you're there. You see the answers. You take the next action. You take the next step in your life.
Just do something. I think is the key. I think motion. Like I said, that's the greatest thing that I learned from Tony Robbins is that motion affects emotion.
Yeah.
And that was like, oh my God! It was like a light bulb went off. It was so powerful. And those power moves before the show, and I teach people that. I love to see the transformation of people too. That's the fun part. The stage fright's the biggest fear of people. So getting on stage, so when I do these moves and they're like this, like now walk out there, like boom, it's like people are like, what the?
Night and day.
It's beautiful. So anyway, so do something physical. Walking is great. Brisk, cold walk. Get in the morning, get that walking going.
Something about cold air, man. That gets me going.
Head up. A friend of mine likes taking cold showers. Boom, whatever you want to do. Take a cold shower, take it. Yeah. If that works, wakes you right up. Woo! But you know what? It's not really. It's the cold shower, yes, physically. But what happens when you take a cold shower?
It wakes you up.
Well, what are you doing physically?
You get all 10.
You're like, woo! Yeah. You're like, when you're cold, you're like, wow.
Well, it stimulates the lody, so your mind literally doesn't have room or time to think about what's going on over there, or what's going on over there.
And you're moving, and your body's like, oh man, the blood's going, and now you get a towel. Woo! It's like, whoo!
But of course, it's important to do that to flush your mind, so you can go back to the situation and see clearly and make a choice.
And you'll see it clearly.
You can't just stay in the cold shower.
Well, no, you can't. You turn into a prune.
Well, metaphorically, even you can't just stay there.
Right. Yeah. And you will. Yeah, metaphorically, you will shrivel up too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's true. It just gives you a better state of mind to deal with what you're dealing with, and sometimes it solves itself. Yeah. Like, if I think about something, go, that's really bugging me, and I do my ritual, I go, oh,
I'm over it.
Doesn't even matter.
Power move.
Yeah. Why do I even matter? So power move, walking. It's all like physical stuff, watching amazing stuff, look at some of the miracles that we talked about in the last session and focusing on those, going, wow, look at these universal daily miracles that are happening moment to moment to moment, every single moment, and get up early. People say, I don't have time. Well, that's the thing. Get up 30 minutes earlier, 20 minutes earlier, 15 minutes earlier. You deserve it.
To wake up, set your alarm 10 minutes earlier every morning.
Yeah. Keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wake up at 5 a.m. every single day.
Good for you.
Monday through Sunday.
That's awesome.
I mean, of course, some days I'm like, all right, I'm going to sleep in. I need to sleep. Maybe I was up a little late working on a project. But I kid you not, I wake up at 5 a.m. and the amount of things I get done for my soul, for my body, for myself, and even in work, especially work, before 11, before noon, it's absurd. Honestly, I could
That's
work
beautiful
every day at 5 a.m. By the time noon hits, I literally can do whatever I want for the rest of the day.
That's great.
Because your mind is fresh.
Yeah.
You wake up, like my morning ritual, basically, I wake up at 5 a.m., I have coffee and prep the night before. Prepping is important. Like I prep everything the night before.
Oh, I got you. So you're ready to go.
So I wake up at 5 a.m., I click the button, the coffee starts to make, and I read for an hour. And I read different books for an hour. I learn something, it feeds my brain, and then I do something creative for an hour. I play guitar, I write, I do something creative.
See, it's physical though. Even an instrument, it's like you're physically...
Yeah. And then once I do those two things, then I go to the gym.
Yes.
And when I come home from the gym, by that point, it's barely 9 o'clock at this point. And for the next 3 hours, my efficiency is absurd.
It's that great.
And it's funny because on days that I don't, and I kind of go off schedule, I could start working at 1 p.m. and go till 1 in the morning, and I will get half as much done as I will in that
productivity. Productivity isn't. I said because when I first met you, you're always in a good mood in the morning. I'm like, no wonder you've been up for 3 hours already. That makes sense now. You're like, you didn't roll out of bed. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, that's great advice. And people say, well, I have kids, I have to go to school. Just 15 minutes. Start with 15 minutes.
15 minutes is all you need.
15 minutes. Do something. Get you in state. Now do your stuff. Do some of these tools we talked about. Use some of the tools, some of the miracles. Get you in that better state. Start the day like that.
Well, it's also important to, even if you're in a great mood, schedule your power move. Yeah. Schedule your daily miracle recognition.
Yeah.
Schedule that stuff. If you know you have to take your kids to school,
yes,
and you got to be there by 8, drop them off, or you leave the house by 8 a.m., right? At 7:55, stop for 2 minutes, do a power move, do a jumping jacks, look up at the sky, find a daily miracle. All right, boom.
Go from there.
Put a reminder in your phone. Put it somewhere.
Oh yeah, the phone's good.
You know, scheduling the power moves, scheduling the daily miracles will keep you consistent and healthy. Even if you're in a great mood or in a terrible mood, knowing that it's in the schedule and you have time for it.
Yes, take advantage of the phone, man. Because you can put your reminders on there.
Man, if you looked at my phone right now, it's just like every 10 minutes of schedule.
It's good to do. It's good to do because that way it doesn't burden you to think like, oh man, I missed. If you miss one, no big deal. Like I said, don't be a slave to it.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes a it works the opposite effect on you.
Makes you feel bad.
Right, because in actuality, we don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
We're here, we're breathing. We really don't have to do anything. We're just counteracting the junk that we're dealing with right now. We're using a flushing system. These things are helped to flush what's out there, but we really don't have to do anything. We're whole as it is. We're in perfection. We're working in perfection as it is. How much better could it get?
Yeah.
Really. We're just doing these things just to kind of give you a little bit of a jump start to cleanse and let that line open up.
So you can enjoy this body, to enjoy this world.
Enjoy everything you're doing.
Yeah.
My God, just think about it. We don't have a card in our wallet guaranteeing us tomorrow.
Yeah.
Think about that. What would you do not knowing? We don't know. Yeah. Of course, we don't plan on it, but we don't know if this is going to be our last day. Think about that and say, wow, did I really enjoy everything I did? Was I complaining about stuff? Was I worried about what they said about me? Tomorrow that would mean nothing. Why am I going to take these outside things, these synthetic things, and affect my real enjoyment of what's really happening? Just start from there. Now you do your stuff, and that becomes even better. That's really the trick, you know. That's great. I think that's what it is. Do your morning rituals, do your morning moves, do your morning listening, walking, talking, whatever it takes. Physicality, do all those things. And then you mentioned one thing I want to talk about in the next session is the beauty of getting up early is, I think, the silence and the space that we have.
That's a big one.
We'll talk about that. Silence and space. Why that's so important.
Oh, man.
Is that cool?
I live in a studio, believe me.
I know.
The silence.
Oh, yeah. I think anybody that's any kind of work in art or music or anybody in life, silence and space is the key. So we'll talk about that in the next session. But for now, we just want to thanks for watching. Subscribe so when we put these new videos up that you'll see it. Watch them when you want. Invite some friends to watch, whatever. We're just doing this for ourselves because we enjoy it. And if anybody else out there enjoys it and it helps in any small, tiny way, that's awesome.
Let us know too. We'd love to.
Yeah, let us know, and just come and hang out with us. It's just a nice, safe space to kind of just open our minds and release our all that junk that we need to release in our bodies, you know. So, and then I always like music, and I know you love playing, so I'm gonna always get you to play some music for us before we go.
I like it. I like it.
Yes. Here we go. Wow. You can listen to that forever, man. This is the best. Enjoy the ride, everybody, and we'll see you soon.